Hello, welcome back. Welcome to part 5 of the series of the top 5 mistakes that new entrepreneurs make. And I got to be honest, you guys, I saved the best for last. This is absolutely my wheelhouse. It's my favorite subject to talk about. And it is something that I am so passionate about. All of my work revolves around this. And it is something that is just absolutely critical, not only to business life, but personal life as well. So this is a bonus that we're talking about business, but it gets to carry over in every area of your life and it gets to accelerate and it gets to have a positive influence on every area of life. Okay, so let's just recap where we've been, right? We talked about our first part in the series about cash flow, how important cash flow is. And everybody talks about it, but they don't always give you the skills. So I gave you some seriously applicable practical ways that you can mitigate issues with your cash flow. Second video that we did was about self-accountability and finding people who can keep you accountable. It's really easy when we're the boss to not be accountable to our own self. So putting up guardrails in your life and in your business to help you manage that and to navigate that well. The third thing we talked about was self-awareness. When self-accountability requires some level of self-awareness, right? So you've got to have self-awareness, be able to analyze yourself, find your strengths and weaknesses, and then hire accordingly. Fourth thing we talked about was your client avatar and market research. Market research is a critical deal. You can't do market research unless you know what your client avatar is. So do your client avatar, then go do market research. This is something that marketers reserve for big, fat companies that have a huge, massive budget, and that's simply not true. You know your business best. You get on the phone, you make the phone calls, you talk to 50 of your ideal clients, and you get clear on exactly what they're looking for, exactly how they find you, exactly where they would go to try to find you, anything that applies to your business in the client process from A to Z. Ask all of those questions and get to the emotional driver of what's driving them for your services as well. If it's something pretty practical like a plumber and the basement's flooding, not a whole lot of emotion going on there. But if you're in service like I am, where you're tapping into people's emotions, you're doing team leadership development, or you're helping executives be the best that they can be, there's a massively emotional component and a driver there for them. And when you get to the why and you understand what the why is, then you can market to them accordingly, right? Because we know that the service that we offer is exceptional, but they've got to have the buy-in and have the why that correlates with that in order for them to be bought into understanding and knowing that this really will transform their life in some capacity, okay? But today, what I want to talk about, like I said, it's my absolute most favorite. It is mindset. Mindset. I say it all the time. My kids and I have this mantra at our house. My friends, I only have friends in my life that are freaking crushing their mindset, who are striving to operate their mind, to have control of their mind and emotions instead of letting it control them. And here's the reality. It took me years to realize that we're in control of our emotions. We're able to be in control of our emotions by our mindset. And so often through counseling and books and all that they don't really tell you, like, you can decide how you want to feel. And people can get frustrated with that. In fact, I've got a really good friend right now who gets so mad at me when he's like, I can't control how I feel. And I'm like, yeah, actually you can. And then he gets even more mad at me, right? Because he's spiraling out about something. And the reality is he has control of that. We can choose to decide what we believe about a situation that's coming and what's happened. So the reality is, though, is oftentimes in a lot of business programs, a lot of team leadership development that I've dealt with, they have this kind of fake it till you make it mentality where if you just fake like you've got it all together, you fake like you're emotionally stable, you fake like you're sound, then it'll be okay. And I abso-freaking-lutely cannot stand that. There is no fake it till you make it in my world. I just absolutely don't believe in that in any way, shape, or form. When you're faking it till you make it, you're absolutely ignoring the emotions that you're feeling. There is no way for you to get over and to heal and to feel the emotions that you're going through if you don't feel them. So there's a mantra. One of my favorite counselors, the only counselor that I actually ever appreciated, her mantra was, you have to feel to heal. You have to feel the emotion in order to heal it. And that's just a non-negotiable. So it doesn't mean that you fake it till you make it. It just means maybe that you box that up. If you're in the middle of a board meeting and something comes up and you got in a fight with your spouse before you walked into that board meeting and you're frustrated, you have to literally put that in a box, put a bow on it, and say, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ignoring all the freaking emotions that are going on with this, but I have to go be on right now. And I choose to be on because I love what I do and I love my job and I love my employees and I love my people. And I'm going to go serve them the best way that I can. And when you shift that mindset instead of like, oh my God, I'm stuck in this space. I'm stuck in this space. I can't do this. When you shift to, I get to go serve and do this thing. I'll be honest, there was an issue today, right before I started shooting video, that had completely sent me sideways. And my poor video guy was having me puke all over him about the situation going on. And then I have to step into this space and I'm in the zone because I get to do this for you guys. I get to give you this information. And when I look at it that way, when we're passionate about what we do, when we desire to give people tools and skills and equip them and make their life better and rise them up, in whatever your role is, you could be a contractor and you could rise people's lives up, right? Just in your presence and the way you present yourself and the way you engage with your customers and your clients and all this kind of stuff, you can embrace and raise everyone up around you no matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a business like mine, right? So get rid of the notion of fake it till you make it. Get real with yourself if you're feeling emotions and learn to say, okay, I get this. This is a really crappy thing that I'm going through. I don't want to think about it, talk about it. It totally sends me sideways. I'm in upheaval about it. I'm super sad about it. I wish it wasn't happening. I love this person and we're just not being able to see eye to eye right now. And I'll deal with that when I get done because we're going to shift. And when you know that and you give yourself permission to not let it run your life, you get to control your emotions instead of your emotions control you. Okay. So, but like I said, the first myth is we don't fake it till we make it. You don't just pull your bootstraps up until you get through it. That kind of crap. I don't tolerate that. Now, there is one caveat that is just a disclaimer or a clarification I want to make, where there is a physiological connection to our mind and our emotions. And I did a video on this a while ago, where if you are if you're sad and depressed and you're kind of slumped down and you physically are revealing your emotional state, you're perpetuating that emotional state. You're causing your brain and your body to be in synchronization, to buy in to that sad and angry or frustrated emotion. When you physically change and you stand up straight and you smile at people and you look them in the eye and you walk in like a boss, I mean, that was part of the video, was like, own it like a boss. When you decide to make your body do what you want it to do, your emotions will come on board. They're connected. You can't separate them. So when you take control, this isn't to fake it till you make it. This is I've decided right now, as I walk into this board meeting, despite what's going on over here in my life, I've decided right now that I am the boss. I'm going to walk in like it. In this context, I'm going to own this space, and then I can come back out. And when I get time later this afternoon in my office, or when I get home or on the way home, I can cry and throw a fit, and I can feel all of these emotions that are overwhelming in the moment that we have to deal with. All right. So no fake it till you make it. No pull your bootstraps up just to get through it. You need to feel to heal. And you can also, you get to decide on how your emotions rule or not rule you. Okay. All right. So number 2, the biggest deal, the reason that we talk about mindset so much, so much, is where focus goes, energy flows. And again, I know I say this all the time. I wish I could remember who says that. I'd love to give them credit. I think it was Joe Dispenza. It might have been Tony Robbins. I'm not sure. But the reality is, whatever we're focusing on, if we're focusing on the negative is going to increase. If we're focusing on the positive is going to increase. Everything is energy. I don't understand. It's above my pay grade, but this chair I'm sitting in is solid. I'm sitting here. It's not letting me fall through the floor, but you put it under a microscope and it moves. Do not get it. I am not a quantum physicist. I don't understand it. However, the science is there and it's all proof. The reality is, our emotions are energy as well. And this is often why when people are, I call it the emotional flu, when they are depressed and frustrated, that's why when people who are depressed, they stay in bed, they don't want the lights on, their cortisol is high, the stress hormone is high, they have to wear sunglasses. People who are in high stress really struggle with the sun. Their pupils are dilated more because of the cortisol in their body, and they're much more sensitive to the sun. So they're wearing sunglasses all the time. Our body physically has a response to our emotions. When we're happy, our pupils close more. We feel safe. We're not on alert. We're not on edge. Our palms aren't sweaty. Our stomach's not in knots. We're calm. We're peaceful. We've got a slower heart rate, and we're able to smile more and laugh more. And the laughter releases more positive, the dopamine in our body and the serotonin that releases the feel-good hormones in our body as well. So the reality is where our focus goes, energy flows. We want to pour our energy into the positive. And this is also why I say to business-minded people, and particularly with team leadership development, focus actually in relationships, everything, in any kind of interaction, engagement with anyone, teams, with your relationships, with your ex, whatever it might be, get solution oriented. So many times people come to a problem. In fact, when I work with teams, I tell like the subordinates, whoever's under the main leaders of the company, you're not allowed to come into their office unless you have a solution. You can come with a problem, no problem. And we actually call them hurdles in their training. This is a hurdle. We're not sure how to get over it, but hurdle indicates we can get over it. Problem is like, oh my God, is this a huge mountain we can't climb, right? And then become solution oriented. Get to the solution. How do we get to the solution? What can we do to navigate around this? And then brainstorm, like we can try this. Oh, no, that's not gonna work. Okay, what about this? Oh, maybe there could be an issue here. What happens if that falls through and we have that negative impact there? And brainstorm that, right? To get to the solution. Because where focus goes, energy flows. The more you focus on a solution, the more you focus on the positive, the more that expands. The third thing that in mindset with entrepreneurs or solopreneurs or even CEOs, high-level executives, is letting fear get in the way. So often we will, and this goes to point number 4, which is to listen to our gut. They kind of go hand in hand here. So I'll just tackle them both synonymously as we go, or simultaneously as we talk about this. But you might get a gut instinct, say about a hire, an employee. I hired somebody. I was desperate for a VA. I really needed help. I was drowning. I couldn't get things accomplished. I couldn't get them done. And I just picked, I only looked at 2 different people. And I hired the one of the 2 that I thought was best. But I knew in my gut that there was some things off. Shortly into working with this person, I knew there were issues. Things weren't getting done. I was having to follow up. I was having to babysit and follow up more than this person was being of help to me, right? And so the reality is, though, out of fear of not letting this person go, I held on to them for 6 months. 6+ months where it was just babysitting, following up and exerting all of this energy and expending money on them when they're not doing their job. I was essentially having to do so much of their job for them that it wasn't worth it for me. It wasn't good for me. But I didn't listen to my gut and I didn't trust that gut instinct. And I let fear get in my way of listening to my gut and trusting that instinct. And because I was afraid, oh my God, I can't do it all. Even if she's helping me 10% right now, I need the help. So that is it's like a double whammy there, right? Where we let fear get in our way, we're not making the right decisions because of it, and then we're not trusting our gut and we're not doing what we know is right. And so especially when you're hiring people, especially when you're contracting people, or you're making big risky decisions, if you've got a high risk on the table, listen to your gut. And the more you listen to your gut, the more you get in tune with it, and the more you can trust it, because initially, honestly, you guys, 99% of the time, our gut is right. It's right. And we confuse it, and we, with our mindset, we unrationalize what our gut is telling us, and we move forward on a decision that we might know is not the right decision. Okay, and so that's where, with your mindset, if you tap into these other senses, this will give you the tools and equip you to deal with the situations that you're faced with your business the best, all right? Okay, so there is my number 1 favorite subject is, like I said, mindset. This is something like a muscle. It's like your brain is a muscle. You have to exercise your mindset daily. You need to be pouring in positive feedback into your brain. Listen to podcasts that empower you, that motivate you, that get you excited about what you do again. Really, what you listen to, what you watch on TV, it really matters. Pay attention to what you're listening to. Pay attention to what you're watching. Pay attention to your friends of what they're going through and the conversations that you have with them, and steer them in a positive direction that can grow you and challenge you and stretch you and push you to the limits so that you can be the best business owner that you can possibly be. All right. Love our tips. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell to get notified. Like the video. Share it with somebody that you might know that could use this. And we will see you in the next series.